I get it. You're struggling. You're struggling to figure out what you'll create that's your own, the thing that'll help you get paid to be yourself. But who has the time? How do you find the time? Because, your busy schedule and very long and distracting to-do list is the cause of it all, right? Yeah, that's it. All those many, many distractions, people, things, obligations that you just, that just won't let you breathe and do what you need to do for yourself. Yeah, it's them. It's all their fault. No, it's not them. Hate to break it to you, hun. It's you. Yes, this is all you. And really, it's for one simple reason. You don't know how to mind your own business. That's right. I'm snatching edges today because if you don't get your nose out of their stuff and finally and fully into yours, we're going to all miss out on that beautiful thing that you're here to create. Hey, creating maven. I'm Joy Spencer, your Reframe specialist, with one important message. Your real work, it's not your job or your career. Your real work is what you create. And what you create is what sets you apart and makes you incomparable. It's your legacy. I'm here to show you a whole new way of working so you can create with your gifts, make a unique contribution, and finally get paid to be yourself. This is Reframe to Create. Have you ever almost smacked into another car or the curb because you were looking at something else? I know you have. Maybe you were rubbernecking and stared at the car on the side of the road, or maybe it was because there was a person you were staring at through your rear view mirror and wondering what in the world are they doing in their car back there? Or maybe you saw a man in a life-size bunny suit on a motorbike ride right past you and you had to do a double take. Like what? I kid you not. I saw this crazy sight a couple of weeks ago. This man, grown man, was in a bunny suit on his motorbike. It was legit the weirdest thing I'd seen. Or maybe, you're doing things like checking text messages on your phone. Whatever the reason, you took your eye off the road for a second, just 1 second or two. And the next thing you know, you're slamming on the brakes, swerving left and right, and trying to avoid a near miss. All because you stopped minding your own business. Because you lost focus of what you need to be about and got distracted by other things going on that, just don't matter. It didn't matter to the task at hand. This is the struggle we're all facing, my creating maven. But we've got to win this battle once and for all, and I'll tell you why. No matter how safe you think you are, you're not. That secure job is not so secure. You know this. You've seen the news. You've watched it happen right down the hall from you, right in the cubicle next to you. You've heard the stories, your parents' generation, your generation, the next generation, you know it. And it's okay. Because all of this churn that's happening, that we're experiencing in our environment right now, or that you might be experiencing in your organization, that churn, that seeming chaos, the constant change and the uncertainty, all that churn is just the kick in the pants that you need. It's the catalyst for the reframe that's going to get and keep you focused on what's important. If you've listened to Reframe to Create for any amount of time, you know I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission to help you completely shift your work narrative, to completely shift the narrative that you have around work. It's to help you completely ditch the narratives that everyone else is holding on to and that they say is normal, but that's the root of both their dissatisfaction and your dissatisfaction, and it's what's holding you back and keeping you stuck. It's these narratives. It's the idea that the full sum totality of the work that you're here to do is solely and primarily shaped by your job or your career. It's the idea that the only type of work that exists is the work that you do for your employer. It's the idea that all your skills and your expertise belong solely to your employer, and it's perfectly fine. In fact, it's their right for them to own all the ways that you express and use them. It's the idea that you don't have to have anything tangible of your own. You don't have to create anything of your own because you've got a job. You're climbing that ladder. You're growing in that role. You're getting that promotion. And so, everything can belong to your job. After all, since you've decided you don't want a business or a side hustle, you're good, right? So why not focus all of your attention here? Wrong. These are the narratives I want to bust up for you, not just once, but over and over and over again, because they are strong and wrong. Believe me, I know they're strong. I'm still doing battle with them because they are relentless everywhere and constantly reinforced by every aspect of our work culture and society. I have to battle it for myself. I have to battle it and help my clients get through and navigate it. And I have to work hard to help and battle and support you through it. But I know we can do this. You might wonder, what's Joy's problem with these narratives? Why does she have it out for them? Well, it's because of the damage I've seen them do in my life and in countless other people's lives, like yours and my clients. These are the narratives that have kept us putting all our eggs in one employment basket after another. It's the narrative that puts us into situations where we feel we have to hold on to our jobs, not just for the financial security, but to be able to do meaningful work. These are the narratives that are driving us rather than us driving our work based on our own mission, based on what's got us curious, based on the impact that we want to have. Instead, we're driven by job descriptions, roles, or the latest lucrative career that's hot off the press, hot in the market. Chasing these narratives has the appearance of a promise of satisfaction, but after we spend years banging our heads against a productivity wheel to follow what they say, we end up burnt out and dejected, not just from overwork, but from being underutilized in our areas of strength. Being uninspired because our capacity to create with our gifts is never fully leveraged. This isn't their fault, right? It's popular to blame employers and jobs for this dissatisfaction loop. It's popular to blame them for the ways in which we feel stuck with them because of the golden handcuffs, but they are not totally to blame. We have and are participating in this. That's what narratives are about. They're scripts that don't have life until we accept their invitation to participate. They are lifeless until we dance to the beat they're drumming. And it's time to switch up the dance. It's time to realize that your work is not your job or your career. It's what you create. And what you create is yours, all yours. And it has to be. You have to create something that you own if you want to be paid to be yourself. It's how you can liberate your work from a single employer and get paid for your expertise from multiple places, whether they are other employers or groups, through contacts, contracts, and consulting, whether it's through a side hustle or a business, whatever it is, right? Whatever the vehicle is. What you create is the key to getting you a potential secondary line of income that can bring you more freedom in your life. And it's not just about the money. It's about the gift of being able to really make a unique contribution that is born of your gifts, a contribution that you can make that doesn't get remixed by your job, that doesn't want it, need it, or get it. You don't have to wait for them to make room for you or to get it. Life gets it. Life has room. So create and take up space in life and see what opens up for you. Because if you want to be portable and referable, if you want to attract rather than chase more of the work opportunities that make your mouth water because they are in your sweet spot, in addition to, coming with a full bag of coins, then you have to create something of your own. You have to find a way to turn your skills, your talents, your gifts into a product, service, experience, or project that can go out there and bring back more and more diverse bacon for you. But it's not just going to fall in your lap by default. You have to take the steps to make this thing. Now, let me disabuse you further of the notion that what I'm talking about doesn't have anything to do with you because, maybe you're feeling a little bit dissatisfied, but hey, there's no rush, right? There's no need to focus on this and go hard on it right now, is there? I mean, you probably have so many questions and, other things on your plate. This can wait. No, it can't. It can't because for most people, the journey to creating something of your own so you can be paid to be yourself is not a quick sprint. It often takes time and lots of time for folks to unwrap their brain from the old work narrative and wrap their brain around this new one I'm talking about. It then takes work and more time to figure out what your gifts are and, what you want to create with them, and then how to bring that to life, and then, get it out there through a compelling story that attracts the opportunities that you want. It's not an overnight thing to work through, not just externally, but also internally. That's why now is the time to get started. You're not going to wake up one day and be ready. You're not going to just wake up one day and be ready to completely change your entire way of seeing and doing things. That's why working on it now, building your way towards it now, is the best thing you can do for yourself. You'll be so glad you decided to mind your own business from this day forward. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next month, not a year from now or a decade from now, but right now, today. So what's stopping you? You probably think it's, all the stuff that you've got to do and all your distractions in life and all that. But C.R.E.A.T.E, the author of Indistractable, How to Control Your Attention and Choose Your Life, would completely disagree. According to him, much of our distractions are not external at all, but they come from internal triggers that arise from our sense of internal discomfort. Think about it. If you had a day all to yourself just to think and focus, you think you'd be hammering away at things all the way through? No, really, you wouldn't. You'd find yourself picking up and scrolling your phone, scrolling through the internet, maybe watching TikTok videos or doing some research on your topic, but, stalling in some sort of way instead of focusing, even when you have the time and space for it. That's because of all those internal triggers that C.R.E.A.T.E talks about, that discomfort that we have with being alone with our thoughts. It takes time to practice to lean into that and move past that. Or how often have you woken up in the morning and you immediately grab your phone and you start scrolling through, the political or celebrity news that's there, ready to jump on your eyeballs. This habit of waking up and immediately looking for and being open and receptive to all the types of input that are around is a classic example of how we're not minding our own business, but minding someone else's, anybody else, everybody else. And we're the ones seeking it out because of our own internal discomfort. It comes through our phones, our laptops, our emails, whatever and however. We're not minding our own business when we're blindly open to everyone else's input and to their business. That internal distraction, that bad habit, is real, it's intense, and it's tough. But it's not just tough, it's a drain on your future, which is gonna take time to build. I know I get distracted when I'm not actively, proactively, intentionally, deliberately, and primarily minding my own business. It takes work. So what are we gonna do? I wanna help you take back all your attention and invest it in your new priority of figuring out what your own business is and what you're gonna create. And when we figured that out, we need to be bringing it to life. And then we need to tell a powerful and compelling story that helps to get and keep that word out about it to attract more opportunities. So where do you start? It starts with what you have to stop. Stop minding other people's business by cutting off the tap of the constant drip of information. Break the consume before you create habit once and for all. You've got to do these 3 things. 1, commit. 2, carve out. 3, cut off. 1, commit. You've got to commit to the new work narrative I'm talking about here at Reframe to Create. Have you really bought into this idea that your real work is not your job or your career, but what you create? Do you believe it? I mean, are you really chewing on it and taking on the full responsibility of primarily focusing on creating, not just once, but always with your gifts as a priority? Are you convinced that it's not okay for you to put all your eggs, that is your skills, expertise, focus, and time into one job with one employer who at any time can shift things on you or leave you feeling trapped because you've changed? Are you done with that way of thinking? Because this is where it starts. It's believing that you can get paid to be yourself from multiple sources and that this is what you want to do. Not just an idea, but a way of doing and being always going forward. It's a whole new way of working that requires you to think differently from others in your office and your circle, and that invites you to take full responsibility and never let it go. So are you committed yet? Don't worry about how it'll happen. That's not your first step. In episode 49, I shared that you need to commit first and know how later. Don't use how or not knowing how as an excuse. That's what many people do that keeps them stuck. Once you commit, the way to know how opens up because you've earned it. You've shown you're worthy for that answer because you've committed first. 2, carve out. This is about creating a priority in your life. The practice of making this secondary or it getting your sloppy, whenever I can fit it in, needs to be over. This may mean you also carve out financial resources. I just recently made a big investment in my Reframe to Create work so that I can level up what I'm doing here and help and serve you better with something that I think is going to help you to get where you want to be. But it's taking focus and investment on my part, and it's going to take that same focus and investment on yours as well. It's going to take you making this a priority and moving away from a half commitment to yourself. In episode 6, I talked about establishing a creative hygiene practice first thing in your day, which is the best reframe for making this a priority and something that takes up more space in your life. That's the only way you're going to be able to build something of your own, by making it a priority. If it feels like it's going to be a fight, you're right. A worthy fight and battle in your mind with all the narratives that have you placing your job first in your mind instead of placing your own business, whatever that is, first. And 3, cut off. This is going to hurt, but if you don't cut off your attention, emotional, financial, and physical investment in the things that fall in the everything else that's not supporting me creating category, then you're going to struggle and make this whole journey that much longer and more painful. These are habits like reaching for your phone first, always having it around, constant notification emails, checking up on all these other different things. Email time that's not specific and time blocked and limited. You can't be driven by the technology that is designed to support you. You have to drive it and show it who is the creating boss. But this will take work because the flowing down the river with the tide and the way that everyone else is doing things is the easy thing. And it's hard to swim upstream, but you can do it. And you will. So what do you want to create? Have that in your mind. Then anything and everything else that doesn't support that, cut it off so you can focus. By the way, I'm not talking about your children or your family. Come on. You know what I mean. You don't need me to tell you that. But cut it off. All of it. Okay, let's practice. I want you to see this in black and white. Get a blank sheet of paper and write this question at the top. What's my business? And it should not be any other grown adult except an elderly parent, who's a dependent, but no other adult, not even your significant other. The relationship, yes, that's your business, but you're not responsible for them. And, you can put children and pets. So I want to know, did you write your own thing? That thing that you're going to create, the thing that you're going to create, the project, the product, the service, the experience from your own gifts. Did that thing show up on your list? The thing that you're going to create to attract the work opportunities that you want and get paid to be yourself. That's your business. That's the thing that you need to focus on. And you please, you need to add this to your list. That's what you need to focus on and nothing else. Do not write down your job. I'm not telling you that you have to leave your job, quit your job, or do badly on the job. I'm just saying that this is not what you're going to put on what's my business list, minding my own business list. Being in a job is actually the best position you can be in right now, at the same time that it's the hardest position to be in right now when it comes to starting to create with your gifts and building your legacy. That's because it can be a supportive base, your first sponsor, your sugar daddy, the funder of your creating dream by keeping, that financial consistency going. And it's also the hardest thing for the same reason. As your sugar daddy, it still wants a lot of attention. And there's sometimes a lot of drama that comes up in work, in your job. And it can be an energy suck and distraction from you creating. So it's a blessing and a curse at the same time. But we can balance this. We can navigate this. So how does that feel? How does it feel to not write your job down under the what's my business category and to be staring at what you say you're going to create instead. Or maybe to be staring at a blank slot because you're not sure what you want to create. Don't worry, I can help you. But I want you to sit with this first. This is how you get your reframe. This is how you start to think differently and challenge the script running in your head that says, this is not possible, or that this is not how it's done. Says who? If you're okay with the status quo, there are 1,000 ways and 1,000 voices that will help you to maintain it in your life. But you and I know that while it may work for everyone else and their mama, you know it has not worked for you. So you've got a choice to make. Are you ready to mind your own business once and for all? Are you ready to create with your gifts so that you can liberate your work and get paid to be you? I hope you are. And if you are, I've got you. If you're ready to mind your business, then let me help you get clear on what that is. I offer clients like you a resume excavation, which is a powerful starting point to help you pinpoint not just your strengths and accomplishments, but that specific thing that you uniquely create and which we can use to better position you to create with your gifts, liberate your work so you can be paid to be yourself. I recently took a new client through an excavation and I watched her eyes light up as we dug into and discovered the treasures that were there. She said, I've never quite looked at myself in this way before. And I want that for you, my creating maven. I want to help you see the hidden treasures that are right under your nose. And armed with this clarity and confidence, you're going to know exactly what your marketable gift is, and we can work and get to work in activating it. Visit reframetocreate.com/resume-excavation and schedule your appointment with me. See you soon, my creating maven. Until then, remember to always ask yourself, what will I create?